Welcome to another edition of Steel Story Shorts. We're here today at day 2 in Las Vegas at the IRE, and I'm pleased to be joined by Monte Paschal of Alliance Metal Products. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
So I guess maybe to start, maybe you just tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about your company and everything you do.
I've been in the steel business now going on 8 or 9 years. Prior to that, I worked in heavy machinery, helicopters, and agricultural equipment. Been in purchasing and supply chain my entire career. But I really took a liking to the steel business and have enjoyed how much the people and the relationships in the steel business matter more so perhaps than in other industries. That's really important to me. So I've been at Alliance Metal Products now. We're going on 6 years. I'm the VP of Supply Management, so I go through all of the material that we purchase, comes through me, and it's been a lot of fun. We serve as a distributor of flat rolled products, corrosion resistance products, galvanized, galvalume, primarily both bare and repainted products. And we're happy to have U.S. Steel as an integral part of our supply chain.
Great. Well, we love being an integral part of your supply chain, so thank you for that. So in terms of your role in the distribution business, how are you seeing that evolving over time in recent years in the construction business? And
so we've seen tremendous growth in our business, but and a lot of that I think is driven by just general organic growth that we use with metal in the construction space. And we feel that we fill a perfect niche in that space because a lot of the growth that's occurring is going to be at small and medium-sized businesses. So as a distributor, we allow them a tremendous amount of flexibility in their in how they're purchasing items. So we're giving them a just-in-time solution to justify what they need, which allows them to deploy their working capital elsewhere instead of having it all tied up just in inventory. So when they need a foil, instead of buying 4 or 5 black ones, they can call us and buy 1 black one, 1 green one, 1 red one, and a couple of bare foils if they want that. And so they're managing their mix and managing their capital much more effectively.
Okay, that's great. So you're able to cater to people that are just looking at small quantities, can't afford to go to a mill necessarily and buy big ones.
And so we form that perfect bridge between the end user and the mill, right? We bring a large scale to the mill and makes doing business with the steel mill easier for the steel mill and easier for the customer. And so I think it works well for everyone.
Great. So you're really largely concentrated. You're everywhere, but Sunbelt states kind of is a real important part of your geography. How do you see things evolving in the Sunbelt states, and how are you kind of addressing the things that are needed specifically in that region?
So we're headquartered out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we're buying steel and have it stocked both in the Midwest and throughout the South. But the South and the Southeast is really our core market. That's where we started. That's where we're seeing tremendous amounts of growth. And so having that inventory stocked and positioned near to our customer base allows us to get it to them sometimes within 24 hours. And so we're well positioned in that growth market. But we don't even see the use in metal and construction only growing in South and Sunbelt states. Of course, that's hugely important. You see population growth there as well. But we're growing throughout the Midwest, the Northeast, really anywhere that'll have us. So we're really excited about the future growth prospects for us. And, we're there to service our customers and provide them a great experience.
Great. So in your time that you've been with the company, how have you seen the demand growth for metal in construction change? And just, from year one to today.
Sure. So we're seeing more and more products maybe that would not have had metal as their first choice transitioning to that. There's you could take whether it's a metal roofing panel instead of shingles, right? I think there's an increase in awareness and education about not only the benefits from an energy standpoint, but the long-term sustainability of the product and the long-term durability of the product by using metal instead of perhaps shingles, which might have been for the first top of line previously. We see it also in the stud market. Maybe that was primarily only wood, right? We see more and more interest in metal because they're able to manage their scrap more effectively. They're able to design to build directly with the metal itself more easily. So all those markets are experiencing growth, and we're continuing to, support that and to see growth in steel demand because of it.
So you used the word sustainability when we were talking, and I'm curious: are people starting to latch onto that concept in the construction market, or not quite yet?
In someone who services a more of a commercial or market, right, becoming more and more of the story, because if you've got architects or it's a municipal project or something like that, we're finding more and more questions coming about how much of the content of the steel that you're supplying is recycled content, for example. And I think that's where U.S. Steel and their best of both strategy comes into play. There's a sustainability story in there on both sides of it that U.S. Steel's well positioned.
Great. So as you sit here in early 2024, how do you see, what are the kind of the key components of the 2024 market as you see it? Trends or anything that you could really describe the market as you look over the next 12 months?
I think we continue to expect usage in metal in construction to continue to grow. I think pre-painted in particular is an application where we think there's going to be a lot of growth. And you see the investments happening by numerous steel companies such as U.S. Steel and others in the pre-painted space. So we think that's going to continue to grow and flourish. And then we have to take the risks that are out there for 2024 and beyond into account. And there's a couple of risks that we're obviously paying attention to. There's geopolitical forces in play, whether that be what's going on in the canals out there, what happens from a policy standpoint in Washington. Those are things that we have to pay attention to because steel tends to be directly influenced by that. Thing that we're being really careful on is pricing volatility, right? We've seen, since COVID times, we've seen pricing volatility accelerate in ways maybe not ever seen before in the steel business. And so we have to be careful with that since we hold a lot of inventory, right? And so we manage that by not doing any speculative buying, right? We're buying what we need, what we know we can sell out there, and to make sure that we're keeping ourselves competitive, making sure we're keeping our customers competitive. It's really important to us as well to make sure that pricing volatility that we've seen is not going to affect us in an adverse manner.
Got it. Yeah, you actually hit on something as you were talking about risks, I was thinking financial risk, and obviously carrying a bunch of inventory as financial risk. And in a high interest rate environment, highest we've seen in a while, I'm imagining that you're carrying some of the financial risk that these smaller customers are also in need of your services. So that's probably a big deal for them and for you.
Yeah, so we're, in our core, we're a distributor of metal. But if you look and think a bigger picture about it, we're also in a way a financing arm, right? Because we're not a bank, right? But you'd say we do supply the same service from a steel standpoint because they're not having to make those investments in larger quantities of inventory in a higher rate environment. And so it just adds more and more value in terms of the niche and the place that we fill.
Okay. Makes sense. So how do you see steel in the construction industry, looking out 10 years from now? You've obviously talked about growth in the, last 5-6 years since your involvement in the business. How do you see it 10 years from now?
Well, there's so many factors at play that can influence that, but we don't see any sign of stopping. If I was to describe, what we're all about right now, we're all about growth and continuing to grow. Mm-hmm. And the applications that are using metal, we expect to continue to grow. And I think if you look around the investments that are being made in steel in the United States in particular, I think is a clear signal from the U.S. domestic steel industry, that they see steel continue to grow and continue to increase in utilization. So we're not slowing down. We have no signs of stopping.
That's great. I love it. So I guess in closing, looking at 2024 again, if you could have one word answer for how you see 2024 unfolding, what would be that one word?
It really echoes just my previous comments. Growth.
Yeah.
One word is growth. And so we wake up and think about every day. We wake up thinking about how we continue to move forward, how we continue to increase our market share, increase the products and applications that we're providing steel to be used in, and expanding our customer base.
Great. So if somebody wanted to learn more about your company, do you have a website or something you could guide them to?
Right over to alliancemetalproducts.net. Get in touch with us. We'll have someone from our sales team reach right out to you and provide you with a great experience and get you answers to all your questions.
Terrific. Thank you. Monte Paschal, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking with you today. Enjoy the rest of the show.